Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Rez. In this video, I want to talk about the true trials events that are going on in Borderlands 3 right now. I see a lot of negativity surrounding them, and I do understand the negativity that is coming from a lot of people, but I do think this event does have some positivity behind it, and I want to talk about all of that in this video and give you guys my opinion on what I think about this event. So starting off, I do think this is just an event that is something just holding us over to Revenge of the Cartels. As they've already said, this is a 6-week event. It's going to rotate each proving ground each week. And, you know, the main event that we want is coming later in the month of June. At the end of June is still a little ways away from now. So obviously they're trying to give us something to keep us interested in the game till we get to what everybody wants to play. And I seriously think this is just something small they threw together to kind of try to please the community. So with that being said, let's actually talk about the positives. And simply, I do like that this is more content coming to the game. Granted, it's not the most intriguing content, but it is, you know, going back on something that not a lot of people play already, and that is Proving Grounds. You know, after the start of the game, you kind of like did them and didn't really go back into them, but this is adding a little replayability to those, which is nice. And, you know, each week you can kind of jump back into one and see how things change, at least with the boss. This is also giving you a specific place to get legendary weapons, which is cool, that not only from their specific drop. And, you know, if there's ever legendary you do want from that specific week, you can go there and farm it on top of, you know, the other spot, which is also nice. It's just an additional legendary, you know, drop spot for whichever one you want to farm for. This is also another way to test builds out for super in-game content instead of just the one raid boss we have, or just doing any takedown, which is another cool thing. But other than that, that's honestly about it. I mean, it's not a crazy event. Like, there's nothing specifically, you know, happening that's adding something crazy to the game, but that's what we're getting each single week at resets, and, you know, we can just have fun with it. But a lot of the negativity towards this is the fact that it just seems kind of pointless. And it's pointless, like I said, because it is just trying to, you know, I guess keep you invested to Revenge of the Cartels. Like, they're not obviously going to add some crazy thing to the game when, you know, at the end of June, you know, we are going to get that crazy thing. So this is just, like I said, something simple to get you there. But now I think this could have been handled a lot better, and that is specifically in the rewards that you get from this and just playing the proving ground itself. But I want to talk about rewards first. The rewards that drop from these quote-unquote raid boss enemies just is one base game legendary and a add-on legendary, and it's not even guaranteed to be both. It's a random chance to get either one, and of course it has some other additional drops they can just drop as well. The problem is the fact that this, like I said, is a quote-unquote raid boss, so they have an insane amount of health. Unless you have literally the top tier build, farming this is just a pain. If you have a top tier build, you can kind of get in and out of these in like 3 minutes, but if you don't, you just absolutely, it's not worth farming for it whatsoever. Also, this kind of hinders newer players to the game. If they are jumping into a proving ground, they see that a boss has an insane amount of health, it can be weird for them to be in the fact that they just like can't kill it, like they can't complete a quest for it or whatever, they can't turn it in because they just can't kill the boss for that week. That would be very interesting to be a new player and have to experience that. But for the rewards, I think they should just drop the base game and add on top of all the other drops that are normally drops. That would make it a little bit more interesting in farming. And the fact that you can now reroll anoints doesn't make getting a bad anoint that much of an issue, since you can just go reroll the anoint if you have the iridium. But you can also obviously farm anoints from this as well, if they were guaranteed drops or both. And another thing is, if you don't own the add-on from that specific DLC, you can't even use the weapon if you get it to drop. You can pick it up, I'm pretty sure, but you can't use it. And it's just like, why? It's so weird to me. I feel like if they actually let you use the legendaries that, you know, you don't own the DLC for, it might incentivize you to actually buy the DLC, because you might want some other weapons from that DLC. It's like, hey, this Lucky 7's really cool. Maybe the other legendaries in that DLC is also really cool. I'm gonna go purchase the Handsome Jackpot. That would drive sales for Gearbox. And obviously, like, I'm not trying to like market for Gearbox or anything right here, but I feel like this is just not only going to help them, but also help the player base out, that just they can use new legendaries and, you know, have fun with them. And also, it seems that the rewards that are dropping aren't even like that crazy of guns anyway. Yes, the Lucky 7 is nice, but the Lob is just like, you can kind of get that anywhere in the game, and it's not like the greatest shotgun. It's definitely still good, but it's not compared to some of the other shotguns. And then this week we have the Sickle and the Skullmasher. The Skullmasher, however, is very good drop, and if you were to farm one, I actually would try to farm for the Skullmasher. If you own the DLC, this is probably a decent farm for it. The Sickle, on the other hand, is just the Sickle, and it's nothing crazy. I think the way to improve this, on top of everything I've already said, is to actually add interesting stuff into this. It's like quest specific rewards. People don't want to have to restart the entire game to do quests just to get a specific reward again. Imagine if they added something like the Pearl of Ineffable Knowledge to this, and you could actually farm additional stats from this boss over and over again, which would be really cool. Or if they added something like a Seventh Sense or something, and made Anoint be able to drop on it, so you can farm Anoints on it too. That would be very, very cool, and I can guarantee you so many more people will be more excited about playing these instead of going for a sickle. But the thing is that that's not happening, and it's just random guns that are just already in the loot pool that probably most people already have, even if you don't even play the game that much. They could also just add weapons that are really hard to farm already in the game to these, you know, things like the Old God, stuff like that. This could also dramatically help this event, because obviously people, you'll want to farm for good gear in the game, but you know, if it's locked behind something super hard to farm, or a quest, or even something like the Becca that just recently got buffed, nobody wants to restart the entire game and have to do all the collectible things, or the you know the quest I'm talking about. Nobody wants to do that again to get a on level Becca. If a Becca was to drop from this, that would be great, on top of like the Pearl, anything like that. You know, there's 4 more weeks in this, so you know they could do something like that. They could be listening to feedback, which would be really, really cool, and that would immediately turn this event around in the coming weeks. And I guarantee, like I said, more people will be playing it, more people will be farming it to try to get specific roles on these things. Now that rewards is over, let's talk about just the proving ground itself. Like I said, they're not changing much. They're literally only changing the boss at the end to just have a dumb amount of health. They're essentially just making the boss tankier and acting as if it's harder, and it's not harder, it's just more tedious. Like, it's still a proving ground, like it's not that hard. It's just the person has way more health. You can get through the first parts of any of these proving grounds insanely fast, especially if you have your normal build that you're comfortable with. You're gonna get through, you're just gonna clear these things like normal, as if you already would. But then you get to the boss and you're gonna notice that, like, wow, they literally just increased the health on this thing, and that's about it. So, you know, honestly, it's more just a way to test if your build can just insta kill the boss than actually having fun killing the boss. Because something like the first week where you were just killing a skag, you're just shooting a skag for however long it takes to kill it. Like, there's nothing fun about that. There's nothing really threatening about it either. Like, you're just shooting a skag for like 10 minutes if your build is not even up to par. Now, obviously, I don't expect them to add some new mechanics or anything to these proving ground bosses. That would just probably be a waste of resources and time for Gearbox. But, you know, just it would make it a little bit easier maybe if they toned the health of the boss down a little bit and made everything else in the proving grounds beefier, and had like a, you know, a leveled experience. You're just going through the proving grounds, just going to be harder. It's going to be like a true takedown or something, like a true proving ground. Like the whole thing is hard, and or not like specifically hard to where you can't beat it, just more challenging. And the rewards at the end, if they change it to what I was just talking about, it would make this event so much more enjoyable, and so many more people will play it. But just imagine that scenario. Next week we see week 3 is a brand new trial. They have completely changed the way the mechanics work. Now everything's harder, and then the rewards you get are the Becca and the Pearl. You cannot tell me that you probably would not go in and farm that way more than a skag having a lot of health and dropping the lob. Like, it's just a huge difference. It's so noticeable what it would do if they just changed it like that. And it's just crazy that it's the way it is right now. But again, it's no flame at all to Gearbox. I do respect that they are just trying to give us something leading up to Revenge of the Cartels, because that's what everyone is waiting for. And you can definitely expect to see more Revenge of the Cartels content on this channel when it comes out. And I'm still going to be covering each of these True Trials events, you know, I guess trying to get the fastest clears, talking about them, the rewards and everything. So be sure to stick around for all that. If you did enjoy this video, consider subscribing and remember to drop a like. I'm on the road to 10,000 subs, and I would love to have you on this journey. If you have any other ideas to improve these, be sure to drop them in the comments below. I would love to know what you think, or if you just already enjoy them, you don't think they need to be changed whatsoever, also drop that below. I would love to know, you know, if you think that. But that's going to be all for me. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.